break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, that you're holding on to. Scream through the phone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the ECL Asia playoffs. We are here continuing on the action throughout this week. Of course, it is myself, Scriv, and Neokai to bring you all said action. Looking forward to getting into it. We've got a pretty good game for today, to be fair. Two of the favorites from the region, Rare Atom up against the Mongols is what it's going to be. So really looking forward to getting into that.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically two of the best teams we've got in the entire region. If you look at kind of previous seasons when they've been competing, these two are essentially the favourites coming in. So the fact that we've got them so early on in towards a little run here is interesting because it means that one of these two teams is going to have to drop in towards the lower bracket. Rare Atom taking on that of the Mongols. Of course, we saw the Mongols yesterday. It was a close game. Let's put it that way. CR Gaming, Chaoran, they actually kind of pushed them the full limit. There was actually probably a pretty decent argument to be made that Chaoran could have actually even taken that game. The Mongols didn't really look on top form, but also Rare Atom haven't also been looking on top form at times as well. They've had their moments where things have been looking a little bit shaky and we're not really too sure what we're seeing out of this side. But like we mentioned, loser of this game does drop in towards that lower bracket where we've already got Wings Up, Clutch Gaming, CR Gaming, and Team NKT, of course, kind of newly reformed Gratis faction coming in.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we'll see what they're capable of. All these games going to be going on today as well. A lot of action to cover, so maybe you get your eyes on and keep up with the scorelines and everything. But yeah, I think it's an interesting case that you kind of raise. Rare Atom going 4-2 in Group A, actually very close to not making it into the playoffs. So in this kind of position and not quite as solid, not quite as strong as they usually look. Maybe they're starting to get figured out in the local region. We'll have to see. And as we saw yesterday, right, with the Mongols, these domestic derbies can be unpredictable, to say the least. So I think certainly keep your eyes on how this one's going to go. And this is certainly our marquee matchup, not only of the day, but probably of the whole playoffs so far. Maybe we'll see them play off against each other a little later on. But one of these teams is going to end up in the lower bracket. And I think that quite early on into proceedings is somewhat of a surprise for people.
No, exactly. I mean, like we said, these are kind of two of the best teams. It does make things very interesting going forward as well about kind of how we look into potentially favourites going towards the finals, just because generally speaking, in terms of mechanical prowess alone, some of the best here. I mean, Jam Young and Mercury alone are probably two of the best in the entire region when it comes towards just pure mechanical prowess. Karze is a legend. He has been here for such a long time. This Rare Atom side, they're stacked. Even MongolZ as a sport rifle is really, really solid. The only real problem I'd probably say towards Rare Atom is that Advent is unfortunately a little bit, at times, lackluster. I don't mean to be kind of rude there, but I think someone was telling me the other day, overall, in terms of the entirety of Counter-Strike, he's the lowest rated player ever. Or someone who's played, consistently, not just a one-off game here or there. So it doesn't fill you with too much joy, just because they know they have that kind of distinct weakness. He does get targeted quite a lot because teams know that mechanically Advent's not all there, but of course, bit of a legend. The IGL as well makes a lot of those calls, and you look over towards the likes of Mongols, and they themselves have their own problems. Recently, I made a change coming in. Azteca replacing the score. You're arguably replacing one of the best players in the entire team with Azteca, who was from Clutch Gaming. A little bit of an unknown identity, but granted, knows the guys pretty well, has played with them before. It's a tough time to make a change right before a major, right in the middle of a season. It's always going to cause a lot of issues, and well, we've kind of already seen some of them because the Mongols have looked shaky.
Yeah, definitely a lot to be desired after the performance yesterday. We thought that it would be an easier one for them, maybe indeed a struggle on their opponent's map pick, but it was pretty much just a resurgence towards the end of that third and final map of Mirage that allowed them to get through. And as you kind of mentioned, I think Chaoran maybe dropped the opportunity to actually find the victory there. So Mongols somewhat lucky. I suppose that's perhaps feeding into how they look as a team, how they look because of that international experience, maybe able to dig a bit deeper and find that extra level that's required towards the tail end of the game. That is, one angle that I think is completely fair, but all the same, it was a hell of a lot closer than I think we were expecting rolling into, yesterday's game, when it should ultimately have been an easier ride for them. So certainly a surprise to say the least, and maybe Rare Atom here will come in and will look clean and might be able to get the better of them in terms of the veto, in terms of where things go. The pretty clean one yesterday against NKT in the 2-0 fashion.
Sure.
A 16-1 and then a 16-5. So Rare Atom looking like they are on form at the moment, that is for sure. We do actually have the veto ready for you here, folks, as well, so we can go over that and talk things through in terms of where that veto is at. Overpass, Mirage, and then Nuke. So interesting that MongolZ go for the Mirage pick. I thought their Inferno looked pretty good yesterday, but Rare Atom, unfortunately, banning it away leaves them with less options to work with. Pretty smart ban, I think, coming in from Rare Atom there, and also Rare Atom picking the Overpass, seeing that was a clear issue map for the MongolZ yesterday.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you look at this and you probably have to make the argument that Mirage is a must-win coming through for the MongolZ. And just kind of how the veto's played out, you'd also probably make the argument once again that it favors Rare Atom. I think both of these two sides, they've had international Counter-Strike experience. They're not kind of been locked kind of more domestically, like a side like Chaoran or Clutch Gaming, potentially, where they are predominantly playing domestic opponents and have very, very little kind of international LAN experience. You look at these two, they've both had their time in the sun in kind of that LAN experience, coming over towards Europe, playing against some of the best teams we've got internationally. And the way this veto's panned out for me, it looks pretty favorable towards Rare Atom. Overpass, as you mentioned, it's a punish pick. It didn't look good for the MongolZ yesterday. They looked actually very weak on it. Then you look towards Mirage, it's a middle playing ground. Granted, the MongolZ have better stats on it, but everybody knows how to play this map, and it's so reliant on individuals stepping up and very, very heavily reliant on mechanical prowess. And that's where you look at individuals, Mercury and Jam Young, to really run away with things here. So I'm, in a sense, actually a little bit concerned about this veto. There's a strong world in which this could go 2-0 in favor of Rare Atom. To take a Mirage and that's it, game set. The expectation is that they take Overpass as well, just because of kind of how poor the MongolZ looked yesterday.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see with this one. I think I really am curious. The Inferno ban from Rare Atom, I don't know, maybe just trying to take things away from the MongolZ, but it's a pretty good map for them. So I definitely am surprised here in terms of where that veto's ended up. So I think we've got three sort of pretty comfortable maps for both teams. So hopefully it ends up being a competitive kind of showing, but there's no real punish that comes in here, no real opportunity to sort of take the leg up. So we'll have to see. But folks, that is going to do us for the pre-game. Of course, we're going to take a break. When we are back, we'll be into that first map of Overpass. So make sure you stick with us. We'll only be a few minutes.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into our first map of the day, then. This is indeed getting kicked off on Overpass. MongolZ and Rare Atom. Rare Atom starting off on that T side. A lot of utility brought up. Advent's going to have a full belt, in fact. So they clearly have some ideas for this. We'll see what the end game plan is, and hopefully he doesn't go down too early for his trouble. There's going to be nobody in the connector area, so he should be safe for now.
A little bit slow, methodical here. Of course, there's a lot of recent history between these two sides. And of course, most recently being that of the RMR. MongolZ 2-0, pretty damn comfortable. But we've had a fair decent amount of time since then. So, a lot to learn. A lot to have potentially changed. And we'll see what happens. Right now, very little being given up. Rare Atom slowly poking and prodding around that connector / banana position. Looking like potentially off the back of Jamyong, maybe going towards A if they can find any success, but they also are prepping over towards single door. Could make a burst in towards that of short water if they felt like it. Jamyong showed his presence. Might get tested by Blitz on the way out. Blitz will heard all of this noise. They know they're trapped in towards connector. They're being surrounded. Little do they know. One versus two. Annihilation low on HP. Just like that. Oh, well. We're back. Hopefully back. Here we go. It's all good. Just now.
Let me see. Okay, cool. We're all back in. Just had a little timeout. You know how it goes. Man.
Yeah.
Just as the action started as well, you know, I just picked up the cast and it all froze.
Yeah, it's you really do. Molotov, a lot of nade damage as well towards MongolZ. Big star coming through for MongolZ here. Eagle, Mercury, tested. Taking a little bit of chunk damage as well. Needs to be very careful. This is the util that's coming over. Could be a problem. So I say, Mercury's the issue. Ball attack on 4. Blitz quick on the trade on towards Jamyong. At the very least. I should be cleaned up. Yeah, these supposed to be put to rest now. The bomb is dropped as well. Advent's got no chance here. Glock in hand. Gonna think that's all he will get. 2-0 start for the MongolZ. Pretty quick. Pretty easy. No sweat off the brow either. Of course, in doing so, Rare Atom might have a little bit of a should have half buy coming through in towards the next. You've got a double AK set up, triple Galil, but a lot of utility to work with. Actually, not the end of the world here. The MongolZ still playing a bonus, double MP9 for them, but a whole host of util. Win this, and it'll be very important to continue a super strong start. But I don't know, Overpass, which was pretty rough for them yesterday.
Okay, hopefully touch wood I should be back, dude, but we'll see here. Does seem like the UK internet is being a little temperamental this morning, but someone who's not being temperamental is Blitz, having a great game so far. 7-0. Opens up this super important round, as you highlighted, and able to back away for free. So pretty much the perfect start for the MongolZ. Really solid to see. They are certainly bringing their A game this afternoon. I think that is definitely the case here, that they are not looking to pull any punches against Rare Atom, where maybe we saw some overconfident plays. You know, they were definitely in with the bravado yesterday in certain moments. I think today is going to be a much cleaner game from them.
Yeah, for sure. Advent falling. Been a rough start for him so far, 0-3. But granted, no one's really stepped up over towards Rare Atom so far. One kill from MongolZ, a few for Mercury. It's been a tough time. They're struggling to find success. And once again, an man disadvantage against the bonus buy worries you a lot. Lose this, economy going to be, well, shattered. Now we give an opportunity for the MongolZ to start pulling further and further away. Oh, the veto favored the Mongols recent. Oh, favored Rare Atom, I say. Recent history favors the Mongols. So, confidence could pull them across the lines. They're hitting over towards A. Annihilation going to take this first contact. Got before the MP9, but they're lining up. And Mercury and Jam Young line up a double, but Blitz for 2 of his own. Bomb will go down. A 2 versus 2 retake ensues.
We'll see here then. Blitz has made the round doable with those 3 frags that he managed to pick up. Smoke goes down. Lot of noise being made by Hazteca on the MP9. He just goes flying in. Kaze will deal with him cleanly, and the double peak comes through to see off Bartak. Rare Atom, once the rifles are in hand, looking pretty decisive there. Really clean stuff from them as they pick up their first round, and they will break the bank of the Mongols as well. So a really, really solid spot they now find themselves in.
So, where we stand, that's an opportunity door kind of cracked wide open for Rare Atom, which it was looking a little bit shaky. When they lost that man advantage, he got very worried. Thankfully, they get bailed out there. Say and Kaze both stepping up massively. Mongols now for them. Economy. And are offside. We said that was a very important round, a swing round, in fact. And has swung in favour of the C side, who now have some control to work with. They're going for the triple boost, and that would have been heard. Aztec is struggling to get on top. Waiting for his opportunity. Now, for the time being, we'll get a freebie. MongolZ back turned. I'm sure he would have heard the drop there, but doesn't matter. Too little, too late. Still finds the first.
Standing strong here for a little more. We'll start to push in on the T side, but they're pretty scary at the moment in terms of the numbers. They really do have to be careful here with their approach forwards. That M4 needs dealing with, and Jam Young does just that on the entries. Slow but sure, making their way in, being very, very, very careful now. Bird comes down, deals with that 5-7. Techno has managed to retrieve the M4, but obviously doesn't have any armor, so not really expecting big things from it. Bomb goes down, Jam Young continues to frag. So this is looking like a mini recovery of the round. Loses his head, though. They're still doing decent damage here on that Mongol side of things. Another headshot, and maybe the round is on. I think they know that on the Rare Atom side, though, and just playing nice and safe, not giving too many opportunities across for a cheeky headshot like that.
Yeah, like you said, it's a pretty nice little shot coming through. Another from Annihilation. The big thing is, you know, they're making it very expensive. You're going to walk away with an M4A1 SA, the Deagle in hand, Annihilation, and a couple of kills under his belt. Kaze, yes, he stays alive, but they also get the round in their favour. So there's silver linings both ways. And actually, Annihilation runs straight into his death. He was looking for a gun to pick up on the way out. Doesn't matter, though. They have money to work with, so he will pick up the AWP. Now, full buy in response to come through. Rare Atom, they tied this game up 2 rounds apiece, but that was super expensive in the previous round against what was a very minimalistic buy. So you're going to keep that T-side economy in check. Make sure that it doesn't start running away with things. That's potentially where we can start seeing a response to come through. Mongols need to get back onto their winning way. CT-side Overpass, the most CT-sided map in the pool right now. They've really got to make the most of it while they can.
Nice shot from Annihilation to open up. Blitz going to find Advent. This is looking a little better from the Mongols. Some aggression to come through. Early fights being taken and a lot of success being found. MongolZ kind of entry in. A nice flick there onto Bartak, to be fair to him, but just too many bodies for him to deal with all by himself, to be honest. Rotations now coming in to continue the defense on this B-bomb site. Hazteca flicked off to the back of the side, but still fancying his chances. They will call off the B hit. I think rightfully so. There's not really much space for them to get in here. They actually double pump back in. So very, very, very awkward guesswork here from Rare Atom. Weirdly enough, they've found their way down short. I think they're just looking for a frag. They're just looking to catch someone and even up the numbers, but certainly going to be easier said than done on this one. Hazteca might give them the opportunity for it, though. Does go a little too wide. 30 seconds left. Meanwhile, Jam Young is gaining information towards that A site, which right now is clear. There is a quick rotation available for Annihilation, of course. He's going to start and do that. Still a weakly defended bomb site.
Time. 12 seconds, man. They got to go now. This has to be the call. Of course, they're swinging through. They might just sneak in a bomb plant. They are going to get it, actually. They're going to be respected here. Annihilation might get one. Scope would have been heard. We'll find the kill. Surely impossible now for MongolZ. A legend of the game, a legend of the scene, but a 1 versus 3 just seems a task too tall. Off the shoulder of one, but he will be deleted on the way out. Blitz will see him. That's the round for MongolZ. At least the bomb plant comes through, I guess. There's a bit of money and extra cash in the pockets. But all in all, important. Very important the MongolZ aren't to right back, especially as we mentioned on that CT side.
Okay.
Funds. Limited, right? Look at that. Advent, or Jam Young even. 2.5k for them. They could even just force buy fully here, right? And just completely reset the economy. Or they stick about 2k. Go for a half buy. I wouldn't even mind a little Hero AK. They can afford another one until the next regardless. So, wouldn't actually be the worst call. We are going to see a pause coming through. And, well, they're going to have all these sort of conversations. I don't think going for a Hero AK here would be actually the worst call at all. Drop it into the hands of someone. Mercury, Jam Young, who are very, very self-sufficient. I don't think that would be too much of an issue. The only problem being, of course, for the MongolZ, they have got a fully fledged buy. They know that Orps didn't play. They know they're going to have a full better utility and all of the goods. So it comes to the age-old question of, is it worth it? Well, they're going to go with yes. AK in the hands of Mercury as expected, but actually it's going to be a full investment around it. Double AK alongside Mosaic. Jam Young in towards the Tech 9, a scout for cars, and Advent will pull up the rear with a Tech 9 of his own. It's a super tough buy to try and make work.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of it either, to be honest with you. Obviously, the space to get the 2 AKs out, but it's not really enough, is it, to be honest with you? Yeah, this does not look good in my eyes, so we'll see what they can do with it and whether they can bring any pressure with a buy like this. So far, pretty slow. Just thinking it out. Really, really patient stuff at the moment from the T side of things. They'll try and take a look in towards long, but no open angle being held at the very least by Techno.
That's it. Tuck this corner here. This should be so simple, realistically speaking, here for Techno. Only Jam Young in that Techno, unless he gets a beauty of a flash. He should be good. He hears all of this noise as well. He knows they're around the corner. He might actually want to take the fight. Scout posted, easy shot. Knows it's boosted as well, so there's another one around the corner. He can fall away, play at range. He knows that Pierce is going to have absolutely no success. And on the other side of the smoke, Bartak could clean up a couple.
And he could here. They're very ready on this B side of things. It's going to be the contact in from the 2 AKs, though. So I suppose the scariest weapons making their way through. Flashes come round, and it's a great little contact play to find 2. What a flick from Mosier. Blasting open that B bomb site. 3 players left on the retake. Again, they do have that weaker weaponry, but now with the man advantage, you feel like their odds are increasing. Advent gives his life away a little aggressively. What is that wallbang from Annihilation? That's given them a good chance back into this retake then. Mercury, what can you get done from this angle? He's looking. They seem to know that he is around. Slow creep coming in. He gets slightly overlooked, but Blitz will manage to get the trade on him. Not a lot of time left on that bomb. Jam Young just trying to play around the time here. Finds the first player in and around the pillar. Ring around the rosy. Just trying to stay alive. Buy more time. He makes his way down, and he gets the frag to boot. Absolutely beautifully played 1v1 from Jam Young.
Just Jam Young things, man. This guy is so talented. Continues to just be a thorn in the side of menace. That's brilliant. Well played from Jam Young on what was a very kind of haphazard buy there. He's really made it work in a way that arguably it should never have happened. Credit. MongolZ will be kicking themselves. They shouldn't be losing those. Never, never should happen. Of course, well, this time it did. That's flipped the script in terms of the buys as well. Looking over now towards that of the CT side. And they themselves, they've gone for a forced investment, but it's really not bringing too much to the table. Double pistol, and P9 and a double M4A1S. They're relying so heavily on Techno and Annihilation. And right now, Techno has been uncharacteristically very quiet.
Yeah, certainly I think having his game knocked a bit by Rare Atom here. It's a big matchup. It's a big team. It's a difficult one to contend with and keep yourself present, keep yourself head in the game. Certainly seems to be having an effect on him. Someone that isn't, though, is Blitz. Maybe it would have been nice to see him with an M4 in hand for this round, but they never do that, do they? They never swap weapons across based on kills. It's all based on money. Rush down long is a little dodgy, but they will entry in 2 for 1. Bomb plant coming through. I don't really think there's a hope in hell here for the remaining 3 players. Probably a good idea to just hold what you have into the next and try and give it another go, but as is classic for the region, I think they will stick around, look for their frags. Opportunity for one on the backside. Techno seems to have an idea that someone is hanging around. Just can't find the kill, though, unfortunately for him. Right idea. Tougher in execution, though. Azteca will move away, save his MP9. It's another round going the way of Rare Atom, and they now secure the lead.
Very important as well. T-side overpass. We've already sort of spoken about it and we'll continue to. It's at the moment, off the back of the major, the most T-side map in the pool. And Rare Atom, we mentioned, this is a punish pick. Technically speaking, a map in which, as we saw from our game against Chaoran yesterday, the Mongols are a little bit shaky on. A lot of their fundamental problems come, actually predominantly, from the T side for the Mongols. So, very, very important. And Rare Atom continue to put up just enough rounds of this T side that we're never going to feel all too problematic about them. We'll see what happens going forward, though. At the moment, in a bit of a round-for-round affair. The economy still shatters for the Mongols. Just an MP9 in the hands of Azteca is all they have to work with. It's going to be a gamble stack over towards B. I don't mind this call really at all. See if maybe the MP9 can pick up an upgraded weapon. And wow, okay. He will. Great control. And that will be a rifle down to be picked up. Not bad. However, they should know that for the most part, A is open now.
Yeah, should definitely be aware of that fact. They're going to start to make their way over there. There is a quick rotation, a quick boost coming through, but they call off of it. It's actually very quick rotation. It's going to be a lot of bodies here all of a sudden. It was looking open, but now anything but. Doesn't really matter, though. They just try and throw themselves at it on that Mongol side of things, and it does not work out. Azteca in for another one, so nice enough for him. He's made some decent cash there. Could possibly drop an AWP across as well if they want to here. Does look to be the move as well, so nicely done. They get the AWP out in play on the Mongol side of things, but a pretty important round here. Rare Atom starting to streak ahead on this T side of things.
Spot on. Looking really good. Very important round for the Mongols, and again, a bit of a must-win. They don't find this one. They continue to live and breathe in this rut. Full investment, but they have to convert it. And Rare Atom is starting to build up that confidence that makes them so scary. So proficient at what they do. At the very least right now. The buys are similar. They're not back into those kind of weird, awkward force and half buys they've had for the last couple of rounds. Rare Atom going to respect it. Nice and slow, waiting for mistakes and trying to bail out as much utility as they can. Got top con control, or at least bottom con control, may I say. Looking for that top con control. Get it at least for the time being.
Slow stuff out long here. Really comfortable look on that Rare Atom side of things. Mongols, I think, giving them a lot of respect, a lot of space. Becoming a bit more frightened of them in the mid-stage of this first half. Beautiful double peek. Looking for a little bit more, gonna get it as well. Wow, they've got some ridiculousness on the side of Rare Atom. Techno can't put up any kind of a defense, needed to be the hero there. He'll force the remaining 2 players to save, and that is gonna be that.
That's round. Starting to look very concerning. It has to be a safe go away for the Mongols. They have to get it out of dodge. You can see Annihilation's absolutely nowhere near the action. Like you mentioned, money was always going to be a real issue. That's exactly the case right now. Rough to say the least. It's left them in a very, very uncomfortable spot. Where The buy-in towards next going to once again be pretty damn brutal. 2's all they got to work with. They might even force buy again and try and support as best they can the M4 and AWP. It's a really horrible predicament. I wouldn't even mind another pause coming through at some point. They're losing control of the CT side. And that's becoming a very big issue for the Mongols. We said as well that the way this veto is starting to kind of entail itself, that arguably, Mirage is the must-win for the Mongols. Of course, their pick. But it's a map in which Eratim are pretty proficient on themselves. Especially mechanically, right now, they are looking top-notch. Really great swings going through. A couple of individuals really stepping up, of course. No surprises at all to see Mercury and Jam Young towards that top end. Absolutely great work. 3-round advantage. They opt for a lower buy around those M4 and AWP saved. They will at the very least know they are still alive and kicking.
Should be able to contend with it, though. I think they've looked pretty good in the anti-half buy, anti-force buy type rounds on that rare atom side. So really starting to hit the groove here on the T side and stretch ahead. Azteca tries to get around the corner, doesn't quite work for him. There's 3 players on this site. I thought for a second maybe they would go down. It's actually a team molly that comes in, a little awkward, but it's all good in the end. I think the the AWP here will look to save once again. 7th round for Rare Atom already on the T side, though. Really, really scary stuff.
Not bad. At least at the very moment, Rare Atom are just pulling so far away that you start to get very worried. We start to ask questions about, well, essentially the entirety of this game thus far. Annihilation, can he keep the AWP alive? He should theoretically be okay. They're actually nowhere near him for the time being, but even still, it's worrying. Getting a swing, he will lose his life for it. And the AWP will stay alive. That's the main thing at the very least. Once again, they're going to have a buy around it in towards the next, so it's not the end of the world in terms of being, well, problematic. You always start to get really concerned about where we stand right now. It's again been a very, very good performance from Marathon on that C side. They struggled to get going early in towards the game, but now they're absolutely rolling with it. I'm still waiting for a little Mongols pause here. I would like to see them have a conversation. I'm not feeling too confident about what we've seen so far. The buy, at least, for the CT side, back up and running. Still a little bit lacking in the hands of Azteca and second. I guess they're playing entries, not the end of the world. Mercury, great start. Ball attack to 4, looking for more as well. Gonna be caught by the flash. Sets him up, lines him up in towards short water, and it's just so simple.
All too easy right now for Rare Atom. Yeah, man, we've definitely caught the Mongols in a bit of a poor run of form at the moment. It does feel like a close game yesterday. This one's starting to look very one-sided. Sure, it's not their map pick. Sure, it was a map that was, you know, weak for them yesterday. They ended up losing it, but this is really, really one-sided at the moment. And it's just the fashion of the rounds as well, you know what I mean? Like, very little competition from the Mongols. It's been a while since we've seen it come down to, oh, if only this one swing kill went your way, or if this guy got another frag instead of tagging him up 70 HP. There's nothing like that. There's just, you know, so many variables that they need to go their way, and Rare Atom are just absolutely rinsing them at the moment.
Let's be honest as well. I mean, something that you were kind of touching on, but the way in which Rare Atom are approaching this, you can just tell they just have no respect. They're so confident. The swings that are coming through, they're so reliant on actually just pure mechanics over everything. And you look at this and you look at what we've seen so far from the Mongols, it's just simply not good enough. They're in a terrible, terrible run here. Not only kind of on a more micro sense of this map, but actually kind of at the moment, yes, they won yesterday, but honestly, they should be, against a side like Chaoran Gaming, they should be blowing them out of the water. This is meant to be the best team in the entirety of Asia, and arguably in the entire kind of Oceania as well, because I think most people kind of agree that they're theoretically better than Greyhound. Right now, they are quite rapidly on track to dropping in towards that lower bracket. something in which is, well, not expected at all from them, but also quite scary if you're one of those teams in the lowers trying to make a run through. We could see a little bit of that rematch between the Chara and Gaming side at some point later down the line. And by later down the line, I mean sometime this week, of course. Up until Sunday, every single day, same time, same place. We'll be here. But a ball's coming through. I'm trying to great, thank God. A conversation very desperately needed to be had for the Mongols. Full of a buy. A little bit shaky with double FAMAS coming through. And of course, very limited utility. But they'll make do with what they got.
Yeah, I would definitely argue that maybe this timeout's coming a little bit late as well, as it is starting to. Well, it already has gotten away from them, to be honest with you, right? They've lost out the half itself, and it's now a recovery mission. And I don't think that they really should have set themselves up for a recovery mission. It should have been, a lot more. Competitive, I think, is the word that I'm really looking for between these two teams, and so far we've seen very little of that, to be honest. You got to bear in mind as well, the Mongols came away with the pistol and the one-round conversion from it, so really have not looked good with the rifles in play.
Oh, spot on, man. Absolutely. Advent playing early entry in Thor's Con, getting a lot of information right now, not spotting out all too much. Annihilation, very aggregate, ton of vision around the smoke. That door swings open. Game set for him. He needs to be careful. Back turned as well for the supporting player, Hasteka. Now, at the very least, will kind of turn his attention as Advent is playing a very dangerous game crossing here. Porsche comes through, and now he's got all the information he needs. Just stay alive, Advent. All he can ask, and he ignores me. 9-4, re-swinging in towards the AWP. It was never going to go his way.
Nice find from Mercury. That's going to be the return frag. Annihilation, though, with a... Ooh, aggressive off angle. Somehow only gets the tag there. Oh, goodness me. At least Bartak is in for the trade, but that has opened up the B bomb site and given them the run-of-the-mill here on the T side of things. A peek comes around from Bartak to try and find another off the back of the flash, but the flash ineffective, unfortunately. 3 versus 2 then. And a fallen B bomb site. Difficult fight for Jam Young, but he does get it done. Just Techno that remains. Oh, man, it started off in a doable situation. It wasn't perfect, you know, it wasn't sort of one of those unlosable situations, but it's one of the better ones that we've seen the Mongols have off the back of their timeout, and it's fallen apart. Ah, man, you do have to feel for them up to a certain point.
You do, 100%. And now, of course, Techno is all that's left, and FAMAS as well. Not even a gun that you really care about saving all that much. I mean, it's better than nothing. My God, the Mongols are going to be in serious trouble in this next round. Well, bomb goes off. He'll stay alive. It actually upgrades to the M4, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But again, I mean, what a performance from Rariatan. They are absolutely steamrolling right now. It's just no comparison. The Mongols had a very, very kind of small run of form early in towards this game, and then since the full buys have been out, it's been absolute one-way traffic. Dominance of the highest regard here, and absolute credit to Rariatan. No mercy in the way they're playing this T-side right now, and it sets up this entire map for what is looking like a pretty rough showing for the Mongols. Lash in the AWP posted looking for people crossing in towards playground. Little does know they're already flying in his direction. He needs to get out of dodge quickly.
Quickly up long, not wasting any time at all. I think certainly going to catch the CTs off guard, but Annihilation is here with the AWP. The one big thing that maybe they had overlooked ever so slightly there on the T side of things. Mercury will creep round, grab the bomb, get out of there, but it's, again, a man advantage situation for the Mongols. Last time they couldn't capitalize, this time they're certainly going to have to. Don't want this to get away from them again. Oh, MongolZ. Oh my goodness, just absolutely cannot buy around on the Mongol side of things. This is so insane. MongolZ with a double spray down out of nowhere. Brings the round back, opens up B. Smoke towards it. I mean, it feels like there's just hardly any chance here. Blitz tries to make a move, doesn't work for him. And Annihilation, you would imagine, just going to hold the AWP.
Just when you think, right? Just when you think it's looking finally good. Mercedes in a double. Up to 11 kills for him. It's Mercury and Jam Young. The 2 stars have been pulling away. 16-9. Alex is just going to get rid of the AWP. Got a second one in his back pocket. But, let's be honest. Rare don't care. Mercury's got 14.3k. He's about to have, he might even get max money off of this round. Or pretty close to it. Especially if he stays alive. Kicking themselves away to do it. Advent. Labour spray. Gotta hunt the orb. Gotta make sure it falls. Do everything you can to drop it. And they will. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Mercury does have max money. So, picking up AWPs doesn't bother them really in the slightest. Great work. Absolutely fantastic work. This is just simple. Simple Counter-Strike, but being played at the absolute highest regard. Gotta give him credit. 10 rounds on T-side overpass. It's not often you get to say that. What have they got on the locker? Anything left to give to this game? Let's see. Fortune's the Proto round of it. The Mongols, for them, they're opting for the lower buy. I guess it's the smart call, but it is only just pistols for them. And 1 MP9 on the hands of Bartek, who's 2 and 12 right now. Not being a great day out so far for the new boy on the block.
It's certainly a rough one. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty rough for the whole team, to be fair, but definitely worrying signs. Mongols not as collected as we were maybe expecting. I think we wanted a good game out of these guys, and it's just been anything but so far. Again, opponent's map pick and all that kind of stuff, but you can see somewhat shaken. Takes Annihilation a second to find that frag. He really wanted to make sure that he gets it and not mess up his lines. However, they have discovered that the B-bomb site is completely open here. It was a stack play from the Mongols, and again, just luck. Lady luck not on their side this afternoon. They'll try and recover back B, but not going to happen. Annihilation this time. Can he save the orb?
Let's see. He should be okay. I'm sure, right? He's getting really out of there. Unless Jam Young, who's going on a very big flank, but a slow one, finds him on the way out. He starts to push towards long. Potentially that orb could be in trouble. I think Annihilation should be fine. The MP9 going to take the full brunt of the contact if anyone rotates through early doors. Should be okay. 11 rounds on T-side. That alone is more than enough. They can make it a 12-3 half. This is already game set and match. I mean, it kind of already does feel like it's game set and match. 50 for final round of the half has been a massacre so far on Overpass. Safe to say. I liking what we're seeing. Dominance of such a high regard being brought to fruition right now by Rare Atom. No mercy, no hold bars, and absolutely no respect shown to what is meant to be the premium team in the region. Stunning. Let's see, Molly comes forth. Going aggro towards B. Might just fly out. Bartak might be in trouble here.
Looks like he is, to be fair. He does manage to find one, though. And a little drop back. He's got support from Hazteca, who does get traded, but retaining a man advantage and putting a stop to the rush completely. In fact, Rare Atom have decided to pull back. Oh, and look, Techno is ready. I think he has just been heard, though, on the jump across. They're going to get the better of him. That's so unfortunate. Ozia, meanwhile, holding back to the B. Can't find the angle, though. Just keeping the guessing game coming. Is it going to be A? Is it going to be B? Actually sticking the bomb back towards B. Bartak takes a swing, wins the fight despite his low HP. Meanwhile, Advent up long. Hoping to catch off A and maybe draw some rotations with his attention here. He will at the very least. Oh, draw a peek from Annihilation, who sees that there's actually nobody out towards long. So just keep yourself aware on that B-bomb site, boys. They will do so indeed. Dropping that bomb. Surely got to seal the deal for this one. Advent doesn't have a lot of time to do any walking, to do any sneaky moves. So he's just going to have to move in fast and hope that he can find the frags. Which I think is certainly an easier said than done type situation at the moment. Spotted out. Surely finished in not too long. Flash comes around, 20 seconds. He'd probably hold his AK in any other round, but of course, with it being the last one of the half, he's just going to try and swing and take some fights. Doesn't happen for him. 11-4, though, still pretty damn good for Rare Atom at the turn of the half, going into their CT side as well. We'll see. Should be enough for them to close things out. Let's find out in the second half. (11-4) at the turn of the half. It certainly is not fully over. It's not a 12-3 or a 13-2. But it's pretty damn close. So Rare Atom should be in a good position to start thinking about the victory here, particularly if they pick up this pistol. Mongols, meanwhile, have their work cut out. No mistakes until we get to, like, 11-9. Has to be pretty stellar Counter-Strike at the start of the second half for a map that they are less than confident on. And Adben is looking to take over the round. Does manage to get his third. Can he escape? No, he can't. So it's down to a 2 versus 2. Techno's found a 3K of his own. Mercury giving space. Techno just taking his time. Let's see Whether this site is clear, whether there's a flank coming in. Azteca, meanwhile, goes digging for a frag. Not given the chance just yet. Mercury still hidden away. They're really playing the long game with this one. Maybe waiting until that bomb tap comes in to try and find a space, try and find an opportunity to fly down. That's exactly what they go for. Oh, down goes one. Just going to be onto Techno. Got to ace up for this round. Leaves Mercury on 1 HP. Oh, the trade is instant from MongolZ, though. So damn close for the Mongols, but it just won't be enough. And that, I think, has been the story of this map.
Yeah, I think it's spot on. I think that really is the narrative that we've been building the entire time. It's close, but no cigar. They've had so many opportunities in 2vx situations, 1vx situations, which just haven't gone their way. Be getting so close to that finish line, so close to making this an extremely more competitive game, let's be honest. And unfortunately, it's not been the case. But hey, credit, what a performance. What a showing we're getting here right now. Brilliant work. Coming to the forefront. 12-4, and off the back of taking the pistol, now having much better money to work with. This is starting to feel like we're on its last legs. Like games of the match is more or less coming up just around the corner. It has been a miraculous performance from that rare atom.
Mongols looking for a boost up here to get this AK activated. Oh, Jam Young is close to the mark. Going to be spotted, but not finished. Actually, returns a dink. Fearsome stuff there from Jam Young. So a bit of a swap up of that AK, but it's still in action. No kills as yet.
I just have no idea how he didn't kill him. Look bang on. Unfortunately, this is the way. Of course, right now, slow but sure, the Mongols, with this slightly half bite, trying to inch their way closer over towards B, and then they come. Azteca leading the way as well. Entry fragging, looking to try and find something to work with. It's Advent down towards water, get the thing, gets a kill. In fact, a great one, untraded, and he looks for seconds and he'll find it. He continues to cause problems and continues to cause damage, but it's going the way that he side, or so I say. Mercury for a double, MongolZ with one of his own. And as we're after him, who survive a scare over towards the B site. Just like that. And now in a position where I think we can once again say this feels dead in the water. 13-4, money broken, no bomb plant, and surely it's done.
Yeah, it is definitely looking that way on this one, to be honest with you. Really surprising stuff, I think, to see it go this one-sided, but Rare Atom playing a stellar game of Counter-Strike. And then we move into Mirage next, right? Really, again, maybe a really smart ban coming in from Rare Atom to just force the Mongols onto some weaker maps and play them into their own hands, banning away that Inferno when, you know, you could argue that Rare Atom pretty decent on Inferno, but they don't want their teammates to be comfortable as well, or their opponents, I should say, to be comfortable. And it has really shown, at least in the first step. A couple more to go, of course. A couple more halves to be won out, but this one looking more than likely. Oh, lovely shot on the left eye from Blitz. You'd love to see it.
It's a Gorga. Low HP, the Techno around the corner. Boosted up. Easy kill. Looking for seconds of Mercury as well. Might actually just be giving it. Sneaking, sitting in that smoke. I like this play because Blitz will find one. These Deagles, the hand cannon's causing problems. At the very least, making it expensive, but now they've got a numbers advantage. Surely not. Bartek the Tech 9 trying to do something. Will be dropped, and it gives the opportunity for Advent to fall away and reposition. Gets yet one more. The last player out of Blitz, low on HP. One bullet to the chest is all it takes. And oh my god, he gets another lovely shot. But unfortunately, not quite good enough. Good effort, though.
Definitely making him a little bit scared there, a little bit weary on the Rare Atom side. Good effort's not quite going to cut it, unfortunately. Obviously need more than that to well, not just make this one doable, but to recover it back, make it look a little competitive here. Keep the dream alive. But certainly an easier said than done at this late stage, and this kind of a scoreline, to be fair. Time indeed will tell, but for the most part, looking... Well, you got to win the rifle round here on the rare atom side, and looking like it might just be over. So, Advent to kick things off. Techno does manage to find the head of Kaze, who stuck around despite the flash. Certainly a rare kind of move. Great flash comes in for Jam Young, though, to find a return frag. Rare atom, they don't have to go too deep into the strat book, and they can play super confident, keep it quite simple, quite aggressive. Does get the better of Kaze, but the rest of the squad really finding effectiveness, he was saying, and then they overstep and give it back into a 3-on-3.
Oh, reclaiming some space. MongolZ, nice shot from him. Jam Young coming to support as well. Making sure if anyone swung from long, fine. Great flash, great timing. The farm hustle swing is actually perfect team play. Even Techno on a 1 versus 3. An ace clutch needed from him. And unfortunately, just sort of feels like a bit of a task. Too tall. We give it a good crack. We only got 35 seconds to do so. Let's start to, you know, need to hurry it up. Time is ticking. Ball will be collected. Little does he know he's spotted out by the pistol of MongolZ. 15-4. One last opportunity to stay alive. Let's see if there's anything left in the locker for them. This sort of score and this sort of deficit, we're already under the kind of illusion or the belief at the very least that this is done. I think potentially the Mongols might be too. I wouldn't even kind of be surprised if they're just going to see this one off and go in towards Mirage hoping for a full reset. This has been a map to forget.
It definitely has. I mean, that'll be the big test moving forwards as to whether they can keep the mindset clean and, you know, just go into their own map and play the confident game, but... When you look at a scoreline like this, you really do worry for them. Rare Atom on top form at the moment. Really quick game against NKT yesterday as well. Mongols, meanwhile, were definitely not getting the best version of them, and you can see it. Mercury, easy 2k. Feels like you don't even need to get super hyped because you just know that he's going to find those frags. Techno will trade him out. So we keep it close, but it's still that man advantage for the CTs.
Mercury's had an awesome game. 22-14. Absolutely flying in what has been a massacre. 4 versus 3. Uncollected. Looks like they want to commit over towards the A site. Leading the charge as well, that on Annihilation. One of the biggest names on this team. Needs a big performance this round with an MP9 round the corner. Gets a freebie. MongolZ, brilliant work from him. The supporting rifle on SMG makes it easy. Kaze will clean up the second to last. These are down to 1 man. Techno 4k. Well, needs a 4k. There's the first. 3 more needed. It's not 2B. Ladies and gents, it is a massacre here on Overpass. As to be perfectly honest, Rare Atom make that look like boys versus men up there. The Mongols never got going. Not once.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Again, you got to bear in mind, as I mentioned, the way that it went down. We had the pistol one out. Then they got a conversion. Then they lost like the first rifle round. Then they won the subsequent round after that. So 3 of their 4 rounds won out in the super early stages of the game, and then just an absolute tear from Rare Atom. Seemed to figure it out very quickly and just absolutely no signs of slowing down. Insane to see. Absolutely insane to see. Really, really one-sided affair. And not what we were expecting. We thought we'd have something a bit more competitive. We'll have to see now, of course. Next map, Mirage, comes up. That's going to be the pick of Mongols. That's maybe the sort of saving grace of it. Nonetheless, we've got a break before we get there, so stick with us and we'll be back with Mirage.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This electricity, the power of the pioneer.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for Mirage between Rare Atom and the Mongols. The first map, if you missed it, was a very one-sided affair in favor of Rare Atom. It was their map pick, but all the same, a very, very big surprise. I think that the Mongols are just not showing up today. We'll see whether a change of scenery is what they need.
Well, they need something desperately. Let's not beat around the bush. It was brutal in towards Overpass. Nothing really looked good at all, but in towards mid, MongolZ will continue. Jam Young, crisp as ever, and looking for a bit of a Mercury special here in the Bewleys. Will find one, but can't make it a double. Already out on towards that B side. Jam Young trying to reclaim some of the space, and will do effectively as he finds the head of Azteca. It's all falling into place. All the stars are aligning his left down to one man. Techno, 4K, needing a 4K. And he can't even get one. Brilliant pistol round. Rare Atom only lose the one life. It's a fantastic start to Mirage.
Yeah, not the start that the Mongols were after. I think they would want to, you know, put up some competition and look like a refreshed team moving on to their own map pick. But again, going to have to start from the back foot. Really, really difficult stuff for them, I think, to keep composure, keep it together, keep that confidence. So we'll see rolling forwards. They do manage to get the bomb plant, of course. They are going to buy back into this one. 4 Galils to speak of, right? Pretty formidable buy, all things considered. What plans have they got for it, though? That is the almighty question of the hour. Molotov comes in, but they're not too bothered. They're just running straight down middle here. Big fight towards the ramp area. Will result in a frag. Jam Young's being left low as well, so this is not a bad look. Contacting through connector. Looking to be a double peak, but neither of them on the CTN find kills. A flawless round so far. MongolZ and Jam Young, the only two remaining, and I think they are on their way to exit, in fact.
Looking like, yeah, I think so. Might get one on the way out, they will. Out of the head of MongolZ. Spot on, it's going to be that save call. So Mongols, great response off the back of what was a less than adequate pistol round. That bomb plant coming in, well, absolute clutch, right? It gives them just so much to work with in terms of the cash. Kills for across the board as well. Bartek, Blitz, Techno all having their moments there. Just already crack open that A site. Get the bomb down and see things off in their favor. Simple but effective. So, let's see going forward. MongolZ falling to the HE. It leaves us in an awkward space, but also an awkward space in terms of the game itself. Hopefully, back underway in just a second. That's all tied square, one apiece.
Seems to have kicked us out. Never a good look.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Indeed.
Hopefully
Not
we
too
get
sure
back
what's
in
gone
a
down there.
second.
Yeah, well, hopefully we won't be waiting too long, but we'll have to see what happens. Back to us for a second, of course, so you get to see our beautiful faces. But yeah, so a little weird. Happens from time to time, unfortunately, when you're in the online Counter-Strike, you know, you get kind of kicked out. They just don't want us there, mate. They just don't like us, I don't think.
It
so
happens.
it's unlucky. It's unlucky. We'll get production to sweet talk them and get us back in, of course. But yeah, hopefully shouldn't be too long to get back into things. Looks like we are almost there. We'll try and keep you updated as things pan out, of course, as we don't want to miss too much of the action.
Very true, very true. We can kind of slowly keep up to dates from maybe HLTV might have it somewhat up to date. But no, so far not bad. I think it's a really good response, really important response as well coming through from the likes of the Mongols. It's kind of giving them some money to work with, which they desperately need. Is giving them just a little bit of that kind of success that is kind of required early in towards Mirage, especially because of how poor it was in towards that previous game. You know, they got absolutely battered in towards Overpass. Coming in towards Mirage, we needed to see them kickstart things quickly and effectively, and thankfully it seems to be the case. Arms are back in the force rounds. The force buys are arguably more important than the pistols. Looking like that might be the case. Might be following it up Really? Hello. 5-7 will find one. We should be jumping back into things in a second, and we are, in fact. Unfortunately, in a matter of moments, it's all down to one-man Advent. He had to get a kill here, and that P250 needs to find its time, and unfortunately, it can't. 3 men alive. Mongols will find their second.
Not missed too much of the action there, which is always good. Indeed, as you say, second round coming through for the Mongols. Relatively scot-free, not too much damage done, just a couple of rebuys. So I think they'll be happy with the way that that one has gone down. It'll be an eco out here from Rare Atom as well. So looking good, Mongols. It was certainly a bit touch and go right at the start of the game with losing the pistol, but they have managed to bring themselves back into it, and this is what they wanted. This is what they needed. Just a ounce of control to work with, really. Ooh. Nice reaction from Annihilation there to find the frag. The USP is trying to overwhelm towards middle, but too many bodies there, too many AKs to get through. Not going to happen for them.
So, you want, but a bit of a, arguably, you know, throwaway around there. Now, back underway into, well, essentially, what matters most. 4 buys coming through. Rare Atom, they just kicked off their campaign in the CT side pretty emphatically. Not being the most comfortable starts on them, bounce off the back of what was a very comfortable overpass. We saw this exact similar scoreline. The exact same scoreline, in fact. To kickstart us in towards another overpass. Not going to read all too much into it. They've already crossed that tech. He's got space over towards short. He'll drop Mosaic. Great entry coming through. He had so much room to work with all that free real estate off the back of one smoke.
Pretty solid start. Mongols looking like a different beast here on Mirage. It's good to see. Very good to see, in fact. See what they can do with the man advantage that they have now earned. A lot of mid control coming in once again. You know, seems to be quite common of the region to just give that mid control up. Oh, knows what's up. Tries to take the peak. Doesn't win the fight. Not looking good here. Kaze's position going to be given away. Mercury does catch one, but definitely needed more, of course. Just not quite going to be enough. 4 versus 2. Molotov comes in to keep Jam Young at bay. And now they have a decision to make. Do they stick around? Do they exit? And it looks like they will indeed exit, giving yet another round to the Mongols. This is really good stuff from the T side.
It's a great start. It really is. Super solid right now. Already spoken about, just generally speaking, how it did feel like a must-win map, and I've really taken that one to heart. They're looking on fire. There's no response being had as of just yet by Rare Atom. They're really struggling to get a lot of those early kills coming through. They're struggling to control that T side, the aggressiveness, the tempo being set by the Mongols. Working wonderfully. Bomb will go down and more or less confirm things. I don't think there's a need for a hunt here. There is a lot of money that the Mongols have in their back pockets. One of those kind of cases and the points of, there are only 2 being saved across. They can't force buy properly around those 2 save weapons. So is it worth it? Well, probably not. We'll see. Jam Young and Kaze, very expensive weapons they've got in their back pockets that are desperately needed just to alleviate some of the pressure in towards this next round. But it's a 4-1 start. These opening 5 rounds have been, pretty one-sided. And that's it. Mongols, great response as well off the back of what was a very uncompetitive overpass. They're coming out towards Mirage. So far, they are the ones making this one look easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to see. It is really great to see that they're able to turn things around and just not keep their heads, you know, in the previous map looking much more confident, much more comfortable, just straight out of the gate. Get that reset, get that refresh. And I think they can be pretty happy with the way that things are going so far. They definitely have played into the economy game quite well, is the one thing. So we'll see whether it keeps up for the long term. Going in nice and fast here is unfortunately not worked out for them. They'll get a couple of return frags, but both pretty low here, especially Blitz, who gets finished off by the P250. Now just Bartek with 50 HP remaining against 3. This shot rolls off for the AWP. Jam Young going to be tagged up ever so slightly. Bartak has managed to gain some space and get the bomb down here, which is a decent result in isolation. They know exactly where he is. He's trying to get the reposition here and find the drop on somebody. Not going to happen for him, though. Kaze takes him down, and Rare Atom back on the board after a few rounds.
Gotta say, that was a pretty damn good one. At the very least, getting a bomb down is something which the Mongols can take in a positive way in a 1 versus 3. You're not really expecting anything there, so credit to at least getting a bomb going down. It just keeps their money in check. Granted, they've got plenty of it. Rare Atom, needed round, very much needed in their favor. Second on the board, and of course it keeps them alive and kicking. Kaze went for a very ambitious shot, didn't pull off, but it would have been a brilliant one if he did. Over towards that mid position, spotting him cross. So, Mongols back in and kicking. Needs to be careful though, they can't really allow Rare Atom to find too much form. They're such a momentum heavy side. When they get those cogs going, my god, they can be hard to deal with. Jam Young, he is playing the fire over here. Blitz swinging into a completely open connector. And Mercury heading to the swivel will find a double. Bartek answers back on towards Jam Young. Echo stuck his way out, just playing contact out ramp. It's brilliant, it's easy, it's simple.
Lovely stuff. They'll try their best to get back in here on that T side of things as an advanced position from Techno. Might give them the opportunity that they need. CT flash comes in, and I was going to say the opportunity's there for him, and he takes it. 2 versus 2, therefore. Battle back pretty nicely. Keeping Mosier at bay. They're split on the CT side, so going to come down to a couple of 1v1s. This is certainly not ideal. Molotov pushes Techno forward. Mosier won out the fight that he absolutely needed to, leaving it all down to a 25 HP annihilation. Smoke on the bomb. They've got kits available. Going to be hard for the AWP to find this one in. Oh, finds the first. However, can't get the frag through the smoke. He's a little close on the no-scopes, but the Ninja Defuse comes in, and they will both survive. A little weird there at the tail end, but it's the round.
Once again, there we go. Simple, effective, but it is Rare Atom who needed rounds in concession. Starting to find them. Starting to put a little bit more pressure back over towards the Mongols, who pretty comfortably started off in towards Mirage. That C side was rocking and rolling, no questions asked. And that pressure is starting to build. Still, though, we've got at least 2 rounds worth of economy in those back pockets. Should be fine. That means that Rare Atom are going to have to just continue to win out these 4 buys. They cannot afford to rely and bank off the fact of low economic situations. It's not going to happen. Jam Young tucking his head up towards the left-hand side. I mean, his chair doesn't spot him. Or at least it is a bit of a one-and-done angle. The Overpass flashed off his angle and forced back on towards that B site. The Mongols are still heading towards A.
Just about. Pretty slow move up here from the Mongols' side. And Blitz has got to be careful here. He might take a cheeky peek towards short, and he loses his life. 5 versus 4. Straight out of the gate, Rare Atom looking pretty damn good then as they want to set themselves up for yet another round here, even up the scoreline. The A hit to come through from the Mongols, but they're just trying to be cheeky as they walk through the smoke. Not going to work against these guys. Come on now, 5v3. That should be all she wrote for this one if they continue to play things cleanly. Advent on the board finally. Took him a little while, but he will get there. Techno and Bartak, 25 seconds to recover. Now just Bartak, he's mollied away, not a chance.
So, can Bartak keep the AK alive? He should be okay. I mean, once again, like we said, they've got a couple of rounds worth of money in those back pockets, so it isn't all that problematic. The big thing is that Rare Atom are now winning. That's the 3rd in a row that they've won full buy versus full buy, and the fact that it's very inexpensive. Only the 1 casualty, losing the life of a Mercury, super important. All-time square 4 apiece, but a very, very monumental round picked up by Rare Atom. They tied the scoreline. They've proven their worth from the CT side when it comes to these 4 spy versus 4 spy kind of rounds in. forced the Mongols in towards a pause. This is exactly what you want to be seeing. Rare Atom, the pressure they're starting to put onto the shoulders of the Mongols is obviously paying off in dividends. They need a conversation desperately.
You'd hope that some, wise words are going to be said here. It really is a difficult kind of look at the moment for the Mongols. They've obviously come off with a pretty strong start, but at the end of the day, it's not quite good enough just yet. I don't know. I think that allowing Rare Atom to get back into the game like this is somewhat of a worrying prospect. Seems like it's a little bit more technical in nature in terms of the pause, though. So we'll see whether there's a change up in the gameplay itself. I think that Mongols have lost some of their confidence, some of their comfort that they were having in the early rounds, and have just given a bit too much space across to Rare Atom, allowing Rare Atom to ultimately get back into rounds and play far more aggressively, far more in their face, which is not what we were seeing in the early stages for sure.
That's it, 100%. So, once again, from what we see in a very, very kind of quick start to this game, all these rounds getting over and done with for the most part, in kind of the first minute or so. Rare Atom happily to play a very aggressive tempo. It's a match. Can I play fire or fire? With the Mongols, like we mentioned. The economy, though, off the back of losing, is starting to slowly diminish. MongolZ, I hope you're going to run through it. It's a fight, though, and he nearly loses his life to the AWP off the back of that flick. Staying alive gains him a lot of info, though.
Azteca out towards middle. Nothing really showing itself so far, so a difficult start into the round. I think they were hoping on the Mongol side that there would be a fight from Rare Atom somewhere, but Rare Atom taking things slower in this round. Blitz might just have a fight around the corner, though, if he wants to go for it. I think he does need to be careful with that bomb in hand. Don't want to give his life away. There's no one really around to recover it, so it would be kind of a disastrous move. Flash comes around. MongolZ as well. The boot. Annihilation is the man. It's only good for the one. MongolZ finds out the trade, so decent start. Advent through the smoke. Gonna drop another, but it's short-lived. 3 versus 3 now. They're looking towards the B side of things instead. MongolZ landing, keeping them at bay, keeping them split, and Bartak takes the bait, unfortunately, allowing Jamyoung to isolate all these fights. And it just makes life very easy for him indeed. Blitz, 28 HP, and a dream. Jamyoung, if he took the peek, maybe could have caught him there, but opted not to do so, and it allows Blitz to escape. Finds his way towards A. The smoke will give him away, but plenty of time to get the bomb down. Or at least it looks like KarZe's here quite quickly, actually. Oh, can't quite eliminate him just yet. Will spot him out. Oh, and on the second time of asking, finds the kill. That was a little dangerous for a second, though.
Yeah, they get a little bit shaky, has to be said. But the main thing being, of course, now, that lead going back in favor of Rare Atom. Super important to see. Potentially, we could continue to see things going in their favor. That is a great round to be picking up, especially in a competitive one in that sort of sense. Because a nice shot for him to see it off. Mongols are in trouble. The report's going to be coming through. I think the previous one was a tech pause. This one could be attack, and I wouldn't mind having yet another conversation. I mean, the coaching try as best they can to alleviate what is a lot of pressure building up right now. If they continue in this sort of fashion, they're going to be in some serious trouble. We'll see. Tap was done. And we go back on the way, round number 10. Rare Atom got that one round lead, but such an important one at that. So much room to work with going forward.
Well, we'll see. There is obviously buys back into this round from both sides. MongolZ, Mercury trying to get aggressive through middle. Nothing quite landing. A nice nade to finish off Azteca, though, is a decent trade back. 4 versus 4 action all over the place, it looks like. Techno has crept under the crosshair of KarZe as that smoke goes down. looking for an entry towards A. He's going to get it. Kaze maybe an opportunity for him to trade there, but just could not pick the angle. Flash comes around. Looks like he doesn't really want anything to do with this right now, and I feel the energy is that they kind of want to save, but they're still moving towards it. This looks very, very sloppily put together, to be honest with you. Just going to try and charge in from CT altogether. Bartak eliminates the first, and Blitz hidden away. A triple is enough to finish off the round. It's been a while, but Mongols will be back through to find a victory.
It's a very scrappy retake coming through there. I mean, you're looking at the way in which Atom are approaching it. It's kind of the way you mentioned, flying into those fights. No real thought behind the eyes in terms of what they're trying to do in isolating those fights. And the Mongols in the post plant make it look pretty damn easy. Question now starts to become, are we going to slowly see anything more from the Mongols to continue their run of form? They're in desperate need of consecutive rounds. Free smoke drops. Trying to play in towards the top mid. Great flash as well. Gives them a free kill. Takes a lot of damage. The kill all the same is so important. One more towards top mid. MongolZ will cost his life and maybe a second to come through. Somehow, some way. Mercury remains alive.
Advent, going to eat a nade. Facing the wrong way, not ready for a contact A. This has quickly gotten out of hand, however, Kaze with a trade back. Oh, and the player from short, Jamyoung, he just peeks before that smoke. Absolutely perfect stuff. They set the panic in motion for the Mongols. Azteca survives on 1 HP. Mercury getting a nade downrange. No, he goes for the flash. Should have gone for the nade. You would have found the frag. Azteca just survives and is playing very confidently here. We seem to have been kicked out again. Oh. So, apologies for that.
Yeah, it's just it.
Not quite sure what's happening, but the
yeah,
not playing ball, not playing ball at this point. So you know, does happen. Back to the cams, and I can tell you with good authority that we are quickly reconnecting here. Might have missed the tail end of that round, unfortunately, but yes, that seems to be the way that it's going this afternoon. I'm not really sure. Servers or client, or does this mean CS2's coming? That's what I think.
I hope. Well, I was actually yesterday having a conversation and I figured out when the best time, and looking at the competitive calendar, if they abide by the esports calendar, the best time would be, I think it was late June was what we were figuring out. Late June, early July was at the best time. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I was looking at some stats as well. Last time these two sides played, which was about a month, nearly 2 months ago actually at this rate, but about a month and a half ago, on the 9th, they played on Mirage. It was 16-11 towards the Mongols, and actually a pretty one-sided game there, all in all. While the 16-11 looks like it might be good on paper, 2-0. And yeah, I guess the Mongols, they never really looked to had a touch on that one. Yeah, of course, back in the way, and score saying 6-2-5. So let's see. Number 12. Ratten got that slim lead. Annihilation, just a deagle for him. That's not exactly the most comfortable one at once. Jamyoung going to swing it towards mid. Look at that information. Another flash in, gives him a lot of room. He has to be spotted. Mercury will be the first to fall. Jamyoung will launch the back of one of his own. Flash in the corner, and he might get another one. Potentially, yes, he will. Azteca full blinded, no idea.
Another all over the place kind of round in this one. Fights left, right, and center. Jamyoung going to find himself a 3K, so certainly done the work for the round. Bartak, what can he do? It's a difficult spot to be in once again. The Mongols, you know, found some consistency, but Rare Atom are coming back to them. It's a bit of a rinse and repeat of the first map here, where, you know, Mongols have found control early on, but just couldn't keep it going. Maybe can't freshen their game up, can't stay creative and original, I think, is certainly something that is a real challenge for them at the moment. Rare Atom definitely getting the better of them in that sense.
For now, slow, quiet. Versus one Bartek and looking to isolate, and MongolZ knew all too well about it. 7-5, and Rare Atom, again, this little bit of a run of form is everything you want to be seeing. Great work and great little performance coming through from some of those individuals. We've spoken about him towards our previous game, but Jamyoung is 15-4 right now. He is absolutely lighting up the server, making it look pretty damn easy. The Mongols do not really have a response to him. Bartek's had his moments, the new boy. Aside from that, it's been pretty damn rough. Mercury, and one of his own. These pistols should be put by the wayside pretty easily.
Yeah, you would think so. First one comes in, and that's always a good sign. Nice and comfortable, never too difficult on that first frag is always a good thing, so... See what the rest of the move is here. Jamyoung, gotta be a bit careful. They're gonna come charging through the smoke towards him, but he keeps his composure. Oh, the dink lands. No return frag. Nice shots from Techno here. But to no avail, really. They're not going to get too much done as Annihilation. Well, he'd be looking to get a bomb plant. The space might be here for it. He's trying to find a frag before attempting that plant, though, and eventually loses his head. So, number 8 coming in for Rare Atom, winning out the half. Mongols will hope to put a few more on the win column before we get to the turn of the half, of course.
That's it. That's it. Well, the moment at an 8-5, right, for Rare Atom, they've got, I guess, a little sigh of relief. They're guaranteed that they're going into the second half with a lead to work with. It's more of the case in the point that with this map being generally pretty lent over towards that CT side, is it enough? Maybe not. I'd see Rare Atom at the very least find 9. 2 rounds to do so. Winning this one's super important. Got 9th here, more or less. Could actually lock in a 10th as well. Money would be pretty damn brutal towards the Mongols, and that's where things could run away before they even know about it. Let's see. So far, so slow. The Mongols just poking and prodding, trying to find information. Also, trying to bait out as much utility as they can, but they're not being given too much to work with.
Connect to smoke. Keep things nice and simple for the Mongols. They're going to opt to go through it. The back of the Molotov here. Flash comes in. It was actually for Mercury to work with, but it just did not find the legs. Cost him his life, in fact. I shot onto Annihilation, no frag. Ah, and he will go down. Of course. Oh, in comes Mosier from behind, though. Could get a little messy out here. It's brought it down to the 1 versus 1. Bartak on 31 HP. Jamyoung out in the open. Loses his head. 5 HP, the difference. What a round coming in from Bartak.
Needed. Massively needed as well. We've got to say, Bartek was really one of the only ones doing anything over towards the Mongols. He steps up once again. 13 kills he's now got. And in a round which they desperately needed just somebody to alleviate that pressure. There it is. Stellar work coming in. Now, of course, we sit tight with it going to be at the very least the worst it can be for the Mongols at 6, which is still pretty respectable on that C side. Early damage, that's towards Mercury. Which then towards mid. Air spray, up into 16 points of HP.
Not the best of starts, but definitely a recoverable position to be in. Jamyoung with a deep smoke into the apartments, looking to get himself in there, wants to be in the mix. They're headed towards B. Heavy contact play. Mercury, does not catch them. But Jamyoung in a really good spot, and Mosier is around as well. Or another smoke coming in. It just kind of holds off the push, and you never know what might be happening on the other sides of the map. Are they digging for information? They're going to figure out that we're here. It's a scary prospect. 40 seconds. Ooh, Jamyoung. Lands one bullet there, I believe, and then drops back. The MP9 obviously not going to be too great against these short players, but a nice clean flash comes in. Gives him the opportunity to find a few frags. Look at him and Mosier go. Absolutely unstoppable on the B bomb site, finding all 5 kills between the two of them. That is perfection on B. 9-6, not quite as one-sided as map 1, but still Rare Atom coming away with the advantage. Let's see what they do with it in the second half. Welcome one and all. We're back into the action here. Rare Atom against the Mongols, of course. Very important pistol here. Rare Atom looking to extend their lead as best they possibly can. Bartak, 9 HP to kick things off. We'll get taken down. Mosier dies in the connector, though. A dry take towards A. Certainly a risky one to play against these USPs at range. P250 trying to battle off. Doesn't quite show his head, but does take some damage. They're going to back off. Towards B? Possibly. Maybe towards mid. But actually, faking us all out. Genius moves from Rare Atom here to just keep the Mongols guessing. They've completely abandoned A, in fairness. They really bought into this B play. And it does mean there's only going to be one towards CT to hold things down.
Look at Mercury as well. He's holding rotations. If they go towards short, he gets a freebie. That's the numbers in their advantage and everything. Oh, should theoretically fall in place. Look towards A now. Only one here to meet them in annihilation. He will hear all of this noise, but he can't deny the bomb plant unless he sneaks out. Literally, no! Tekka around the corner. Mercury's ready and waiting. Jam Young will find annihilation. Surely not. That's the round falling in place as Advent deletes Azteca. Leaves Blitz in a 1 versus 4 turn, 1 versus 3. And surely this is just a task too tough for him. Jam Young holding, waiting, gets a little bit of a tag both ways as well. They replicate damage. But the P250 at close range, arguably the more fearsome. Jam Young will swing forward, he's looking for the kill, he's low on HP, he's dancing around the pillar. But all he's doing is buying time. In the end, it doesn't matter, because down he falls. Blitz can't confirm the kill. And Rare Atom put up a 10, double digits, and starts to look at this as a home straight.
Looking pretty clean for Rare Atom then. It's difficult on the Mongol side whether they want to go for the force buy or the early rifles. It looks like the latter. Deagle out for Blitz is all they've got to speak of here, so not expecting too much out from this one. Rare Atom should have a pretty clean second to come through. Blitz nearly getting taken down in the early stage as well, so that Deagle sent away for now. I do like this, though, from the Mongol side of things, I have to say. Especially on Mirage. I don't know that you need as much utility to work with on that CT side. Maybe try and go for some aggression in the early stage of the round, right? Would be really great to see from the Mongols to just have some confidence from them.
Agreed. They are looking a little bit more shaky, to the least. Mosaic, he's been spotted. Question being, of course, can anything really happen? Mac 10. Close range on towards Blitz, easier. Long range on towards Techno, a harder task. He will fall. Little did they know, they get B site for free. Bomb goes down, and well, jobs are good. The most spawns here, these pistols are going to have absolutely no fun. They might even just go for a little bit of kind of a save here. With the Deagle on the Mac 10, it's not exactly the worst thing to bring it towards the next. Azteca will have money to work with too. They're just going to park up and play exits. I don't mind this.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Try and take some guns away, maybe save one. And also, it's a little thing, but early stage of the half, maybe deny as much of the kill bonus away. Attack, unfortunately, will be heard there, so kind of unlucky for him. Looking good. I don't think they're really going to drop anyone here at the tail end of things. Azteca just sticking around the site. He will go down to the bomb. But especially on that Mac 10, he was hoping to catch someone. Not going to happen for him, however. So we'll see now that early rifle buy, like we talk about, coming through from the Mongols here. Not going to have an AWP. Maybe not going to have a kit either. Yeah, so there's definitely some things missing. But like I said, if you pull off some early aggression, get those rifles working, you know, let the guns do the work, it could be a good way to start the round off.
See, this is the big one, isn't it, right? The Mongols, their first true response against a bonus by the Rare Atom. It is definitely doable. Rare Atom, imagine want to play quick out towards A. Spoke over towards CT. One to cross front con. Molotov into a back triple. This is a perfect util setup right now, and it's actually going to force Mongols either forward in towards an engagement or playing retake. There's one, but I've been quick on the trade. Jam Young will make one of his own. Actually, this is now starting to crumble a little bit. They're smoked off as well, so these players like Blitz over towards Con have no ability to support. Either way, off the back of those kills, they're going to rotate.
MongolZ really not sure what's going on, to be fair. I do like the move in from Hazteki. You can see on your minimap just pushing down the ramp area, but Jamyoung's here to make sure he doesn't go too deep. Totally fair enough. They're actually reconvening towards Underpass instead. And again, another great read from Rare Atom, to be honest with you. They've drawn the rotations away with Haztek in deep position. Oh, he just looks off the angle at the worst possible time. But regardless of him going down, the info just wasn't there. MongolZ, you know, decided again that B would be the ending port of call, but it's not the case. It's not the case at all. Really well read, really solid mid-round coming through from Rare Atom, and that will win them out the round. The MongolZ boys just going to hold their guns.
Very important. Very important round picked up, and more or less once again starting to kind of add to this conversation about those nails being banged into the coffin. MongolZ are struggling right now in a real run of form. Like we said, it's not only been this game, but just generally speaking of the last few weeks. In the regular season, not doing as well as we would have expected. Granted, 2 of them were forfeit losses, but this is a MongolZ side who should be coming towards the playoffs and absolutely battering opponents left, right, and center. Previous teams who have been scary, like Vision, Rare Atom, of course, being another, and right now Rare Atom are all over them. Destroyed them at map number 1, and actually this scoreline started to be equally as bad. It was so much more even. We kickstarted even at the halfway mark. 9-6 really isn't too bad, but since then, everything falling into place. There's no real investment to be supported here by the MongolZ around those 2 save then falls. Just a little bit of pistols to work with. A little bit of those the old HEs. Bit of nades to work with. Atom should pretty comfortably find a 13th here unless some things go completely awry. Up close, Annihilation looking for one. Actually Techno at range. Find the first Annihilation up close will find one of his own. The transfer not good enough, but thankfully Jamyoung and Advent combine. Get them more some space. The P250 spots a leg and he's tapping away. He doesn't realise. Actually tapped on towards the bomb planter of MongolZ.
Could have done some real damage from there. It is somewhat of a shame for Bartak. Ooh, nice nade damage here. Couple trade frags come back, leaving Advent with nothing but 24 HP to work with. And the bomb not really planted for him. So going to be a tough one here. They will spot him out. They will finish him off. And a round that you wouldn't expect the MongolZ to win, they actually end up taking. So they will keep themselves in the running here. And Rare Atom kind of having the fear of God put into them a little bit. Stopped in their tracks. Still going to have money. Still going to have space to work with in terms of the rounds, of course. But a big round for the MongolZ to just keep them away from that 16, of course, and prove to themselves that they can win rounds out on the CT side.
Yeah, massively important one to be taken as well, considering the buy that they had. It was pretty damn uncomfortable. Considering they got kind of 2 rifles, few upgraded pistols. It's a round that actually Rare Atom shouldn't be losing. I think they just slightly oversimplify everything there. They had the job. They knew they had a lot more utility in the belt to work with. They just don't really use it effectively. Or guys like post on the angle, waiting for someone to overextend. Won't be given too much just yet, but actually Azteca, mate. Mosea's around that corner. Azteca's tunnel vision in towards that right-hand side. It might cost him his life. Barrel spotted. The reaction time. Mosea to fall. That should have been a freebie. And unfortunately, it's leaving. And Rare Atom now at a man disadvantage.
Not the best start. It's another thing for them to contend with here as well. You know, the double up setup, I think, totally unexpected and a completely new kind of wave. Azteca spotting a couple of these flashes, not doing anything to him. With his advanced position, it allows him to stay alone on B. Another kind of useless flash, you have to say, from the T side, but keep on it, I suppose. It's keeping some pressure over there. They'll draw a rotation back and make sure that it's the conventional 2-man setup on B. So there is that at the very least. Makes their job easier moving towards the A side of things, which seems to be where they're going.
Very quiet. Split coming through. They're just going to leave one. That'll Jamyoung over towards that ramp. It has to be Techno to deliver here. We're going to have one. The Molotov might cause a bit of a problem as Advent and Jamyoung combine. 3 versus 3. They've got to clear this jungle player and Blitz staying alive. It's important he makes it a double. Surely enough, bomb collected. Time ticking. He will go for the safe plant in towards black triple. 1 versus 2. Anyone in this situation is Jam Young looking for the 30 bomb, but he won't be given even the 29th as Hastek and the AWP sees it off. Normally, see Annihilation opening, but Hastek is finding confidence in it.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We did see it yesterday. They went for a double up setup as well, and Hastek was on that, so kind of cool to see that they have a couple of individuals that like to move towards it. Keep things interesting for the side of the Mongols and just gives them a bit more in terms of the repertoire, in terms of the originality that they can bring to rounds, right? And just keep their opponents on their toes, I suppose. And I do like it when you're quite a few rounds down as they are. I think it's smart to have something fresh. All the same applause going to be taken here. I think Rare Atom showing full respect across. They will just about be able to get a buy of their own, but do they necessarily want to commit to it would be a relatively broken one. So I can certainly see if they aren't fans of it. They will indeed go for it, though. Ooh, or not, actually. I thought I saw Mosier's AK, and I thought they were going, but it's somewhere down the middle surrounded by an AK. So, and Mosier, of course, keeping money in the bank to make sure that he can continue to purchase up into future rounds. So we shall see here. The Mongols, these are different types of tests. They can be hard to contend with. They have to stay on the ball here against this half-pipe.
Be careful. Let's see. Hero AK. Isaiah. Interesting enough, not to have it in the hands of Jam Young, who's 28-8 right now. Absolutely flying. First to fall. Not a shot as all that, but Hastek is finding a lot of success. He's going to remain up close. He nearly gets spammed through the smoke. It's all falling into place. It's Mosea and Kaze left alone, and Kaze is being uncharacteristically quiet today.
Hastek out of control in these past few rounds. Get this man on the AWP more often. That's what I say. Bartak. Ooh, loses his fight towards mid. It's a trade-off of information. They'll be able to readjust, reposition. However, Kaze's got his hands onto a rifle. Going in a little fast. I thought the player from short would take him down, but seems not. Techno has a bit of an idea of what's going on, but again, will overface. 35 seconds. Azteca, low HP, but Blitz catches them at short and will finish both of them off, in fact. They nearly had the right idea, but just could not execute as much as they wanted. Mongols then bringing it within 3. This is dangerous territory. Rare Atom have got to figure out the rifle rounds and fast.
Yeah, I mean, the Mongols are starting to breathe down their neck a little bit. We're starting to see that resurgence come through, and this is the thing that makes the Mongols so scary, especially domestically, is they're never out for the count. Not only have we seen it internationally, we now see it kind of how prominent it can be in a domestic situation. They're at him. From what looked like it was going to be them just closing this one out, it was 12-6 at one point. 3 in a row for the Mongols has left them in a very strong position. Full buyout. But that went down to just a Galil. Quad AK alongside him. And actually pretty limited utility, all things considered. They can't go for these double fakes that they've been such a fan of. It is just going to be a commit to play if they do burn a lot of their util. Hosea lurks in towards under.
Smoke over the top. That's going to be the game plan here. Rare Atom hoping to move in. Annihilation will take down Advent. We're stuck on the smoke. There we go. All good in the end. Still, hopefully that's not a thing in CS2, but we'll find out. Couple headshots coming round. Still in CSGO, say Rare Atom. Stay focused in the moment. Bartak has crept in behind. He's only spotting one right now. He'll stop the bomb plant. Needs a little bit more than just one, though, unfortunately, and he can't find it. He can't find it, so Techno will have it all to do. Smoked off at the moment. Spam through the smoke doesn't really come close. However, the return spam Leaves him incredibly low. He'll grab the AWP and get the hell out of Dodge. Rare Atom have cracked it. They find themselves 13. They keep a hold of their hefty lead that they have.
Yeah, made to work for it, but the big thing, of course, is finding it. Important. Really, really important. Of course, Techno, like we said, he just really can't be anywhere near that. Has to keep the AWP alive. Wouldn't have money to invest into one towards the next round. Thankfully, the rest of the team do have some leftover funds that can squeak out a buy. Failure to convert the next. That'll put Rare Atom on 14, and the money broken, more or less convincing us of them finding 15, and I don't know. Then we're starting to get in towards this game being locked and loaded in favour of Rare Atom in a 2-0 fashion. It's getting close, getting mighty close. A 4-round gap. As well, Rare Atom hold. They've got a pretty decent amount of breathing room to work with. Let's see. As we mentioned, that full buy coming through. Sweep one out, double AWP in play as well. FAMAS is all that Techno will wield. Convert this round though for Rare Atom. It's probably one of the most important ones. They'll see themselves into more or less their winning ways.
More or less indeed. Mercury going to melt down early on, so... Bit of early damage. MongolZ, great find. MongolZ, great find. Rare Atom back to their fragging ways. And the Mongols left on another recovery mission here. It looks like they're going to head towards B, and I think they have this one pretty much in the bag. One guy over here. Flank coming in from MongolZ. Just don't see Techno really finding an awful lot, to be honest with you. Ah, the flash is perfect as well. They know where he's at now, and he's just totally stuck. They want to get it perfect. They just wait for MongolZ to come in on the backstab. That's exactly what they do. So they are after the flawless round here. And great patience, great discipline there from the Rare Atom boys to not just, you know, fly in, send yourselves in. You might as well, right? It's like directly a 5v1. But no, they play the patient game. And it allows for them to have a perfect and money-building, in particular, round here.
Robotic Annihilation. Of course, they're now just going to tuck their head, tail between their legs, getting out of there. Oh, scooped up for MongolZ as well. He's going to be happily taken. He has that role for a few rounds, to be fair to him. Bartak, probably the next coming towards contact with someone. He's got the drop as well on Jamyong. He should get a kill here for free. Case in point being, does he really want to swing it? Or wait for the mistake to come through. Jamyong, little does he know, into danger! Oh my god, he's so quick. So quick from Jamyong. You know all too well about that one. The orb stays alive, but that's all the Mongols have as their economy. Their funds are limited. They're running on fumes right now as Rare Atom. They're in 6th gear and they are flying. 5 rounds, the difference, and 2 more rounds all Rare Atom need to close out the map and the series. And lock themselves in towards a continuous run of the upper bracket, dropping the Mongols, of all teams, in towards the lowers.
First fight, takes it easily. So the journey to stay away from 15 for Mongols has not really started all that well. And I do feel, you know, that first frag going to give Rare Atom a real sense of power over their opponents. Mercury's just heard that jump up from Techno as well, so knows that he's close. And certainly knows how to deal with spots like this. They've left MongolZ out on towards the A-bomb site to just keep them preoccupied and maybe even find a couple of kills of his own. Not going to happen, though. Annihilation. Oh, and the 5-7. Finding great success. Annihilation nearly caught, but able to stay alive in this 3 versus 3. The bomb has yet to really make it down. They will get it in. They will get the plant. This is where it becomes quite tough. You've got a kit available. You've got smoke and a nade. That's all they have on the Mongol side of things. So really going to have to be a perfect retake from the CT end if they want to get this done. Blitz. I believe he eats a nade there. Will take a fair bit of damage. Annihilation goes down in the end to Jamyong. Blitz, they know where he's at. They will finish him off. And Bartak even struggling a bit to find the orb. There you go. He will get it. And that's into the next round, I guess. Actually, no, it's not. As Mercury gets the perfect timing to find the head. Spoke too soon on my end. 15 going to be hit. 6 series points here for Rare Atom to work with.
It's be a tough one to choke. You really would. Rare Atom, they've had this mental block and inability to find success over the last few kind of international tournaments. A lot of these qualifiers, we're looking at kind of Melbourne and Kato, it's always been a problem for a side like Rare Atom, even towards the RMR itself. Really struggled against some of these top-level teams, but today they have not at all. Annihilation at the 4 points of HP to start off this round is not exactly a dream for him, and neither is the buy for the Mongols either. Envoy ONS, FAMAS, and a few pistols to alleviate the pressure of the situation. Oh my god. And the swing is sumptuous. Look at them all. Bartak's under pressure, and Bartak is dead. Annihilation, 4 points of HP, but 1 kill to his name. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's quite enough, and he's left on 1 point. He somehow stays alive.
Luckiest son of a gun. We'll see what they can do with it. Definitely got to capitalize with the fact that he is still standing. Haztech are going to go down through the smoke, though. Techno comes in from CT. Gonna have to do pretty much all of the work here, you would assume. Yep, there he goes. Annihilation will be spotted and finished off. Just Techno to keep them in the game. His position known. Being watched. Being stared down by the remaining Rare Atom side. Halfway gone on the bomb now as well. Not looking good. Down he falls, and that will be all she wrote. 2-0 coming in. Rare Atom with a pretty damn good clinic there, you have to say. Their own map pick, very one-sided 16-4, and then their opponent's map pick 16-9. That second half especially just did not look like the side of the Mongols really could get into it. And we have, I think, walked into, yes, one of the closer matchups in theory, on paper and all that, but the form of Rare Atom right now is looking so damn good. They absolutely minced NKT yesterday, and they brought the same kind of energy into today, and it absolutely shows with pretty much a perfect game of Counter-Strike there.
I mean, the big thing you got to look at is that this is Mongols in a rot, right? I think it's probably the best way to put it. I just don't think things are clicking anymore. And maybe even part of it's due to the change, right? When they had score in this lineup, they always looked so fearsome. International EU teams could not compete with them. They couldn't really make this side, play to their playstyle. The Mongols were so stubborn, right? They were so good at forcing teams to play at their tempo and play at their kind of speed of Counter-Strike. And now we're not seeing any of that. I don't know what's going wrong over towards the Mongols, but something fundamental has to change because they are really starting to struggle quite a bit here. Now they're in the lower bracket, and now actually they're in trouble. Backs against the wall. They've got a fairly decent amount of teams on towards that lower bracket as well. They've got to make a really triumphant run through those lowers if they want to try and meet Rare Atom once again. And obviously, the way Rare Atom are playing right now, I would be super surprised if we don't see them go all the way to the final. They are playing some really, really good Counter-Strike. Of course, we mentioned Overpass was such a punish pick, and it always was going to be a punish pick. Even against Chaoran Gaming yesterday, the Mongols didn't really look too comfortable. They looked a little bit all over the place. And in towards today, Mirage, which should have been the comfort. It's a map which everybody knows and everybody loves. We said it's a must-win. And unfortunately, it didn't go to fruition. Only fighting 3 rounds that second half. Simply, it's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, today was a pretty good sort of litmus test of where things were at. And indeed, we're kind of expecting, if things go to plan, if things make sense, which they might not as it pans out, right? But this is a game that we'll see again a little further down the line. And, it was, like I say, a bit of a litmus test, bit of a barometer in terms of how it was going to look. And so far, it looks very, very good for Rare Atom. Mongols somewhat missing over the past couple of days. Again, we talked about it at the top of the show. You've mentioned it a bit there. The game against Chaoran yesterday, I think they got kind of lucky towards the end that they were able to just find that resurgence. There is obviously a level of skill that comes into that, but they reset the economy at the perfect moment, and they were able to just take it over the line on the third and final of Mirage yesterday. So, there is a world out there. There is a universe out there in which the Mongols actually go down to Chaoran Gaming, and we would have had a very different matchup for today. But yeah, it really is a surprise, I think, to see the Mongols looking so flat. At the same time, Rare Atom, great for them. Obviously, there's a lot more on the line, as we've talked about, right? Coming into this season, instead of a spot at conference, you actually get a spot straight into Pro League. So it does seem like Rare Atom are really, really giving this the attention that it deserves and playing some fantastic Counter-Strike so far. Really looking confident, and it's great to see. We do have the bracket here to go over, I believe. Not sure that the other games will be fully finished throughout the day, but as you can see, this is how it kind of updates with Rare Atom taking the quick 2-0 there, and gives you a bit of a refresh of some of the other games as well. We have had, it looks like, Wings Up and Clutch Gaming finish, so it'll be Wings Up against the MongolZ there in the lower bracket side of things.
Yeah, Wings Up battered Clutch Gaming. 69 map number 1, 63 map number 2. It was absolutely one-sided. And that one, yeah, fairly decent coming through. Map number 1 has already completed the Lim Vision New Happy game, where Lim Vision won 69 as well. So they're on Ancient, currently in 1 map away from meeting Rare Atom in the upper bracket final, which is a repeat of so many Challenger Leagues. It seems to be very commonly, at one of these latter stages, more often than not, it's Rare Atom and the likes of Lim Vision. Of course, the MongolZ usually playing in Europe. Tyloo have been here, there, and everywhere, but not here. So yeah, it's left a lot of the time Rare Atom and Tyloo in those later stages. So as we stand right now, looking like we could have a real big game tomorrow. Rare Atom versus what is most likely going to be Lim Vision. That is an absolute corker. That's a repeat of so many finals, a repeat of so many qualification games to get towards Pro League. And of course, I guess if we get the opportunity, we're probably going to jump in towards that one, because it's, I argue, 2 of the most mechanically brilliant players. Probably actually the 2 best in terms of mechanics in the region. Jamyoung and Starry facing off head to head. I mean, you can't really get a better matchup than that. But ladies and gents, for now, we are going to bid you all farewell. We're back same time, same place tomorrow, and hopefully we might even be able to do that Rare Atom Lim Vision game if timings work out well. But you're going to have to come by and stick around and see what we end up choosing. Until then, I've been Nerdcard with a wonderful Scrib, and until next time, see you all soon. Bye-bye.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Back.